Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on your time zone. Once again, we're here to have discussions on the things that are happening in Nigeria. As you know, last week we discussed much about Daniel Bwala, the Article's ex-head, who is now the spokesperson of Chief Bola Tinubu. He resumed office today and, of course, held a press conference where he blasted his critics and all of that. We'll be bringing that along on this very particular segment. And, of course, we are going to be talking about what Tinubu told the aggrieved losers of Ondo governorship election to go to court. So it has happened to be a norm in Nigeria now that wherever APC rigs election, they tell everybody to go to court. Started from 2023, and that is the way they are taking it. We'll be talking about that. Then, of course, we see what happened somewhere in the Taraba state where we have the DSS officer who physically assaulted a journalist over a 4,000 naira issue and told him that he will make him disappear again. Well, a whole lot of other things. And let me not forget the fact that Nigeria is playing Rwanda today in Uyo. And of course, that match is ongoing, and we expect to follow through and also give you updates of that very particular encounter as Nigeria battles Rwanda in Uyo. All of this to discuss with me today is Angel in the studio, and of course we have active Nigerians who are joining us virtually.
Good day, my well-active citizens and obedient worldwide. Welcome. Tell your neighbor, say hope day, but not in our politicians or in our governors. Welcome on board. Let's discuss.
Yes, let's start the discussion. Let's get this on stage because this very issue of Daniel Bwala we have discussed before, Angel, and I just want us to get that over, not to waste much time. Today he resumed and hit so much critics. But there is something that most people are forgetting, or that I was expecting them to come up on this very press conference that he had today at the Villa. He had several criticisms, several things he said bad about Chief Bola Tinubu. Now, we understand that most of those things he said are good things. I mean, they are not as in bad as it should be. But we know they are good, bad, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
Now, we have seen in the West where people, when they criticize somebody, they come back, and we see I mean, journalists going straight to the fact and asking them about what
you're called a president because you preside over.
Are they now going back to their vomit like you mentioned last time? Even the old clips, they should present it to him while he's having a press conference and bring the dates out where he said Chief Bola Tinubu will never succeed, where he said so many things. But today on the press conference, none of these journalists were able to present him with what he said in the past. But let's not forget, before you join this issue, let's take a listen to what he said some time ago. You know, we normally say, oh, he made mention of this, he tweeted about this, but this is the ones he said physically about Chief Bola Tinubu. Let's take a listen.
You're called a president because you preside over. You supervise people you appoint. He has had the problem of putting square pegs in round holes. Once you do that as a leader, because the box up on your desk, everything that goes wrong will be traceable to you. That is the sin, or that is the burden that President Buhari will get. But his case will be worse if APC is voted, because the man who is running now for APC does not even know half of what Buhari knows about government or national security. If you have the time, I will tell you more about what they are campaigning with as an agenda or as a rhetoric that he did well in Lagos. I will tell you, between 1999 to 2007, if you take out context, he actually performed worse than some governors in Nigeria, because the Lagos that they say he did, he improved the revenue, he only collected tax. All the infrastructure needed for a state, or in fact a country to develop, was on ground. Lagos used to be the Nigerian national capital. Before Nigeria was formed, Lagos was a colony. You have all the infrastructure for economic development. As what you didn't establish them. There was seaport, there was airport, you have commercial activities, all the embassies are there. So transaction with foreign envoys is in Lagos. All the hotels are there, headquartered in Lagos. All the banks are headquartered in Lagos. All security apparatus, every facility and infrastructure for economic development was in Lagos. He didn't bring them. Asiwaju did not invite or introduce or brought to Lagos any serious foreign investor or domestic investor. And these revenues we are talking about that they claim he has generated, we are on. It's just that the government didn't have the infrastructure in collecting those. So what he did throughout this period was to collect tax. That's what they claim by revenue. And even then, the reason he did that was because the company that was collecting the tax, the company is allegedly traceable to him. So if you pick a man on the street and you tell him, I want you to collect tax in a given area, your percentage is 30%, he will be optimal. He will be highly effective. This is the summary. But let me tell you what he did in Lagos. One, he attempted to destroy democracy. He wanted to introduce what we call monarchical democracy. A democracy that is not reflected by the will and wishes of the people, but reflected by the choice of a man, and people should run around it. He introduced the concept in politics in Nigeria that we call take the queue, follow the queue. He was the only governor in Nigeria that during the period of 7 years, he has had to impeach his deputy governors 3 times and change them. He's the only politician in Nigeria that nobody wins under his tutelage unless the person is chained or positioned by him. You don't win by the popularity that you carry or because you have idea, but whether he has approved you. That is one. 2, the House of Assembly in Lagos throughout his period never had the independence. This is the man you say he promotes democracy. Never had.
Okay, so NJ, you've heard him. He spoke. There's so many things he has said, but this is just one that we are able to, we got out. Now, he has resumed his duty. He's said to have replaced a jury who was sacked some time ago. And he has called a press conference. So my gross is, why is it that none of the journalists present at this very press briefing were able to hit back to him about all what he said about Chief Bwala Tinubu not being able to succeed? Why didn't anybody talk about that today on this press conference?
Nigerian journalists, most of them are afraid. They hardly ask the important questions. Instead, they will start beating around the bush.
Or they are censored.
Yes, either they are censored.
Afraid to be removed from the villa because they were talking at the villa.
Yes, they might tell their channels to change
that
them.
is not this thing, then they will tell channels, or they will tell Arise, or they will tell other television stations to remove them from villa. And so the incentives that they get from the villa is always to project just what the villa want them to project.
That is not even the way I'm seeing the Daniel Bwala. I'm seeing him as, you can't shame the shameless, because he's already shameless. He doesn't care. Okay. So whatever anybody says.
Okay. Before we bring the press, the interview that Bwala conducted today and all what he said, let's first get the attention of the people who have joined us via Zoom. We have Mr. Basi, we have Tony joining us via Zoom, and so let me start with Mr. Basi. If you can hear me, Mr. Basi, we've seen today Bwala has resumed and he has hit back at the critics. But like I was discussing with Angel right here, that I am stunned that none of the journalists, they were able to bring back to him while he was having that press briefing on what he said beforehand, before his appointment. So today he assumed his office. What is your take on that? And of course, I know, Mr. Bassi, you are very close to the match between Nigeria and Rwanda. I also want to get your input right quick on what is happening in Uyo.
Thank you, Mr. Kanu, for having me. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, listeners across the world, wherever you are listening from. A quick one. A while ago, Nigeria was leading Rwanda by 1 goal, but at the moment, 75 minutes, Rwanda is leading Nigeria by 2 goals to 1. That is the update.
2 goals to 1. Anyway, I know the Super Eagles will always come back. I know they will come back. But that is the update. Thanks for the update on that. And you also see the possibility of Nigerians coming back on this game, right?
Well, like I said, I don't have confidence in this current crop of Nigerian team. For once, I would have expected them to play for pride. But, you know, these people, you can never depend on them. So let's hope they'll be able to bounce back and equalize and possibly take the lead. But I don't expect much from them. And I also would expect Nigeria not to put too much hope. Because having qualified already, they really don't see anything at stake. But I would have expected them to play for pride, you know. But football, that's what it is. Let's hope they will be able to turn the page. Coming to the issue of Daniel Bwala, it's sad that characters like this found themselves into offices and possibly position of authority. That also clearly tells you that what this government represents. It's a government of propaganda, and so they will do all they can to attract their likes and to help push their narrative, falsehood, and in the best possible way they can. And coming to the issue of why is it that journalists who are at that event could not ask some pertinent questions? And the issue is that the press is highly regulated in this country. Even though we claim to have press freedom, there is not really true press freedom, especially as it regards all the press that are working in the State House. They are well regulated, they are well censored, there are questions you cannot be allowed to ask while you are in that arena. And so that's more like they are being coaxed to say what they want to say, they would want them to say. And under that condition, you can't call it press freedom compared to what is happening in other clients. So I also realize that when you try to be too vocal, what you end up will be you'll be banned from State House activities. We've seen that happening in during Buhari's government, where certain organizations were banned from State House, covering State House activities. So that's what it is. But my fear in all of this is that this is we are soon losing a voice, our voices as a nation. And so when you allow the likes of Daniel Bwala, which ordinarily shouldn't be a topic of discussion because he's one character who lacks character. who lacks integrity. A man of integrity shouldn't even accept that job, not to talk about lobbying for it. So that's where we are as a nation. We are under state capture, and everybody has been whipped into line. So those who don't have ability or the capacity to endure, they are being whipped into line. And the few ones who can endure are helpless. That's the situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. Right, but before I go to Tony, let's quickly hear what Daniel Bwala said today, and then we can get the response from Mr. Tony.
President Bwala Tinubu, the President of the Republic, for the exceptional honor and privilege that he has given to me by appointing me as a special advisor on media and public engagement State House. And so as the official spokesman of the President, I want to assure you all of my unalloyed commitment and support and collaboration. What happens is you have two responsibilities between the government and the people, and you hold the government accountable on behalf of the people. What you demand from government is accountability. What the government expects from you is fair reporting and fair play. And I want to give you my own commitment. I have joined pool of very wonderful, resourceful media aid of the President, and we work as a team. But I want to guarantee you that if you have any issue that you want to find out, verify, or communicate to the government, I will always be available, to discuss with you. So my appreciation is to the President as a man of courage who has considered me worthy to appoint me as his spokesman, special advisor on media and public communication, and will ensure that in communicating on behalf of the President to the Nigerian people, we do our best in the discharge of our function. We are going to be honest with you. Government is not perfect. Government is a work in progress. What government does consistently is to communicate to the people, not just the intention of government, but the effort of government in delivering on the promise to the Nigerian people. So you're going to find in the course of our work, there are times government will come up to you to say, this and this are the efforts we've made in this regard. If it is not perfect, we're improving upon it. The posture of Mr. President from when he took the oath of office to the Nigerian people is that I have undertaken this task. I know the onerous responsibility. I'm committed to it. The box is on my table. All I require from the Nigerian people is patience. This reform we have embarked upon is tough, but it's what we are prepared for. And we are going to put in our best. In the course of the administration, we are going to make sure that we communicate to the Nigerian people what we are doing. And I can readily tell you that the administration has achieved tremendously. If you're looking at it from the point of view of somebody who is neutral, because the nation consists of government, the opposition, and the people. Sometimes in the messaging, focus is made most of the times on the opposition instead of the people. That's why the role of the media, as you all know, is very important, because what you do is you report what is happening and the Nigerian people can judge. So we will give our commitment, and I know in the course of time, we're going to relate. I will make the commitment to know everyone personally, and then we'll ensure that our work here is productive in delivering good governance to the Nigerian people. And I want to, again, as I close, thank Mr. President for considering me worthy enough to be, asked to undertake this responsibility. And I'll give my commitment and my effort in delivering on the promise of Mr. President. It's a pleasure meeting you all today. Thank you. Important, you can never be a subject of discussion. But most importantly, I know that sometimes back on the 13th, I think 10th of January, when I met the President, I made a conscious effort to make the media rounds, and I appeared.
That is Daniel Bwala's press conference of today, and of course you can see he took the whole talking, and if we keep on his talk that lasted over 10 minutes, then we'll be just elongating the program. But obviously we have seen the praises that is coming out from a man whom obviously on the last video that we watched said that Tinubu is not just the man for Nigeria and will never be somebody that will find a solution to Nigerian problems. But now he's a spokesman, and that is what it is as of today. So let's get the opinion and of Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony, you've heard what he said previously, and I guess you're hearing what he's saying now, having been appointed by Chief Bwala Tinubu. What is your take?
Yeah, look, people know that politics is like a contact sports. If you're in a team, let's use a sports analogy, you are expected to hit the opponent as hard as you can. But at the end of the game, you shake hands. Now, your opponent, if he has more money than you, than the other team, can buy that particular player who they know is very good, particularly the big mouth. Is that Onanoga? No. What's his name? The guy that's currently working with Tinubu that makes a lot of noise. I forget his name right away. So those people...
Bayo Onanoga.
Onanoga, yeah. Those people with bad mouths, they're expendable. They go from one team to the other team. Anybody that can pay for their services, it's okay. They go for it. So I'm not surprised that it's now back to APC, okay, which was where he came from APC to PDP, and then now from PDP to APC. You know, that's what they do. Okay. You know, they go to the HSB.
Yeah, while we're still on Bwala, let me quickly draw your attention, since you are talking about APC. We noticed that in Ondo State election, Tinubu has told all the losers, the PDP, the SDP, Tinubu has told them to, to go to court. What's your take briefly on that? And we did mention this earlier this afternoon when we held our series on constituency projects, which we'll get to later. But tell me what you think about this notion or this thing that is now accepted in Nigeria, which is go to courts. We know that the election in Ondo State of Saturday was rigged as a result of vote buying. But both parties were buying votes, or let me say vote trading, because it involves buying and selling, so it's vote trading. So a lot of vote trading transpired. Results were written. We understand that 20,000, 10,000. We know that is how they want to proceed. Having succeeded in Edo, having succeeded in Bayelsa and Kogi, what do you think that go to court means, again, coming from Chief Bwala Tinubu, who happens to be the person in charge in Nigeria here, telling people to go to court whenever an election is rigged against the people?
It's very, very surprising when you see people that are supposed to be statesmen and stateswomen saying stuff like that. They know that the election was rigged, and they open their mouth to say, go to court. Are they not ashamed of themselves? You know, this is not the people's will. And you're taking it like, it's a cavalier attitude. That it doesn't matter that people's franchises have been denied them. It's a shame. It's a shame on people like that. It's a shame on this country. That a simple election cannot hold. A simple election which is supposed to be joyful people trooping out, happy to go and vote for their preferred candidate. And you deny them that. That's shame on those people that open their mouth and say, go to court. The court you've bought already, tell them to go to court. Go to court and do what? So that they can confirm you are rigging there.
Yeah, when we know that. Yes, especially when we know that
the judiciary is already compromised and waiting for people from SDP. So, Mr. Bassi, let me quickly take this one from you. Seeing what has happened again from Edo, a repeat, just like Ganduje said they're going to use the same template. You see, from the reports coming out from Ondo State suggests that APC was buying votes at 20,000 and PDP was not a match for them. They were buying at 10,000 naira. Now, do we now go back to say we were disappointed by the Edo people because they sold their votes? Having seen that that is the norm, people no longer go out to vote their preferred candidate. They go out there to trade their vote. What is your take on this and the call for the removal of INEC chair and the electoral reform? Very quickly.
Thank you once again. You know what baffles me is that Nigerians are still surprised on the turnout of this election, the outcome of this result. Because we shouldn't be surprised. Right from the onset, APC have never hidden their intention of what they intend to do and how they intend to go about it. But Nigerians, we've been quiet. We've been looking from one election, off-cycle election, to the other. You know, he clearly wants to bring us to the biblical story where the Herod decided to, you know, arrest the apostles. And then everybody was still waiting, looking at what he was doing. That's what is happening to Nigeria. That's what is playing out. APC have never hidden their intentions on what they want to do and how they intend to capture Nigeria and make Nigeria a one-party state. They've never hidden their intention about it. And they've been going about it from one off-cycle election to the other. And so we shouldn't be surprised about this. And this is not about vote buying. This is about state capture. They have taken hold of Nigeria, and it is what they want. That is what comes out. So when you hear them say, go to court, they are simply telling you, go and waste your time. Because at the court, you are not going to get anything out of it. From the trial court to the very apex court, you are not going to get anything out of it. So that's why they are bold and confident to tell you, go to court, so that it won't look as if you were not asked to go to court. And obviously, they know that at the court, you will not get any judgment. So they are proud about it. They are arrogant about it, in spite of the fact that this government or the party have not done anything to portray to Nigerians that Nigerians should give them votes. So they have decided that whether Nigerian likes it or not, they are going to force themselves on Nigerians. And that is what is happening. So the only way out is for Nigerians to rise up and dismantle this criminality.
yes,
Until that happens.
Yes. Talking about this
criminality, you saw the program we held earlier, me and Angel in the studio, you know, talking about the constituency projects and bringing out the mess that is in the constituency projects. I don't know if you see that. What would be your take on that? As you see, we are gradually moving for the call, for recall of these honorable members whom we believe are in the forefront of advocating for this electoral reform, but they seem not to be heeding the voice of wisdom coming from Nigerians.
We are talking about. We have been hearing of budget padding year in, year out. And Nigerians have not really been paying attention to details of some of these things. Thanks to organizations like Budget, who has been able to bring out some of these, expose some of these details of these line items in the budget and bring it to the fore through their website. But the work does not end there. It is the responsibility of Nigerians as active citizens who should take these line items and begin to verify them one after the other, in the words of our principal, to ensure that these projects are really executed. But every year you see this happening, and these people are squandering, they are stealing our common patrimony through this budget system. Today, we are back to 2025 budget that has been proposed, though yet to be laid to the National Assembly. The truth is, how well have we, has the previous budget performed? Nobody knows. How have they been able to, execute those projects? And from the preliminary investigation, as shown in this budget, most of these projects don't exist. So that clearly tells you that they are all pseudo projects. So it is the responsibility of citizens in those constituents to ensure that they hold their representatives to account. If you said this budget has been allocated to your constituency, where is it located? When was it implemented or executed? These are some of the questions we should ask them. So I must tell you that this is the criminality that has bedeviled this nation. And we must find a way to dismantle this.
All right, thank you.
It has become very, very expedient for us to do this if we must save this country. Otherwise, we would have lost this country to these criminals. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Our own Mr.
On this, I as you have seen from the budget estimate coming out from the Cross River State, I'm sure that you people will do justice to it by checking out the locations and giving us details as the case might be. Now, finally, Mr. Tony, I can see that from what you have gotten in Enugu State, we have done clearly 2 of the 3 senatorial districts. Today we did Enugu North Senatorial District. And of course, you are very much aware of the fact that some of the people in different local government are saying that most of this project doesn't exist. But you are a coordinator in the state and you believe an investigation is ongoing and that but we want to hear from you. What is the preliminary investigation? What report can you give us of this constituency project, at least for now, before the main report you guys are working on comes out?
From the charts, that some of these projects, so-called projects, are not really something you can see. It is easy for these people, for these lawmakers to hide the details so that people will not ask questions. People will be confused. For example, they said they have street lights, solar street lights. They don't mention the street name. They don't mention the town. They just mention the local government. That's a way to steal money, because nobody will actually go around the whole local government to find out where the street lights are. You find out that some of these projects don't even exist. It's just a way for them to steal money. It has been going on this is not new. It's been going on since this new dispensation. That's why I think people like Obasanjo has been hammering on this constituency project that is a fraud and should be stopped. What we're seeing is that some of these projects are not really on the ground. Some of them are done in a way to trick people, so you don't know exactly where it is, where people can go and look out and see what's going on.
Well, the time has come.
Yeah.
The time has come and the hour is now. We are going to profile all the senatorial districts in Nigeria in all the states
of the Federation. All those constituency projects, make the senators and House of Remain just there ready, and make the constituents also there ready for a call, because this time around, if una talk say una don't catch us for waiting they call them state capture, now be say we carry another one they come, and this one each by each of the honorable members and the senators who are not working for their constituencies according to the projects, who are eating the money that is allocated for constituency projects. We are coming for you. And wherever you are, please do support the people of your constituency to actually do this investigation so that we can open their, within the talk. Our time don't go. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony. Thank you, viewers, for watching this. Please share and let other people know. For those of you who, wherever you are, support your people at the grassroots level to do investigation on this constituency project. We have all the constituency projects in Nigeria. We'll be profiling each senatorial district by each. We'll be bringing them out, the location of this project, how much those projects are, and we expect that the people at the constituencies will investigate the status of this project and how they are. And of course, what do we get from this? Any of these projects that doesn't involve transparency and the execution of it in the right way, we're moving for a recall. Yes, that is what it is, a recall. And we'll be asking for the amendment of the Electoral Act. That is another yardstick that we're moving for. Thank you so much. Our time is up, and of course I can see that Angel is on guard right now to take over the final phase of this as time has been. So thank you, Mr. Bassi. Thank you, Mr. Tony, for your inputs in this. We keep working together to see how we actualize all this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my active citizens and obedient worldwide. Thank you, Mr. Tony, Mr. Bassi. God bless you for always coming along to stay with us. God reward you. My people, when I don't see him, hustle, Daniel Bwala, his hustle don't pay. Yes, he has resumed work. Which work is that? You know, most of our politicians are so shameless, including him, speaking from both sides of their mouths. No problem. All eyes on them. Thank you so much for being with us. Like, share, subscribe. Let other obedience know what is going on. Let other active citizens know what is going on. Thank you so much. We love you, but God loves you more. Bye for now.